Hi Stampers, welcome back. I'm Nancy Novak from STAMPINSHOUT.com, and this week I'm thrilled to share with you the delightful experience of working with Stampin' Up's Perennial Lavender collection. So in the collection, you have the Painted Lavender stamp set and dies. This has beautiful flower images. Also, there's the Perennial postage stamp set, which has some beautiful sentiments, and it coordinates with the Perennial postage dies. The Perennial postage dies are excellent for all stamps, and they're great accent pieces. So you could just get this all by itself and just go crazy with your creativity. I'm really excited to show you some of the cards this week that we're going to make using this die set. Again, this is a big old collection, but you don't have to buy it all. You just buy whatever you like, but they're showing it in the mini catalog as a huge collection. So we're going to work with all of these supplies this week. And let me just show you this paper. It's so, so pretty. If you love purple, you're going to love this paper. So it's 12 by 12, double-sided, and it's 12-inch pieces of paper. And it is gorgeous. And I am a purple person, so I am really, really loving this. So we have a few cards that we're going to share this week. I have a really fun fold that I'm excited to share with you because I want to show off this pretty, pretty designer series paper. So I don't think I showed you all of it, but anyway, you get the idea. This paper is gorgeous. There are also a couple of embellishment pieces that go in this collection. These are the purple gems. Very, very pretty. These could be on back order right now. And then they have the butterflies. I used a lot of these in a class, but we're also going to use this so I can show you some tips and tricks for using the butterflies. One more product that we're going to use this week is the Thoughtful Moments Hybrid Embossing Folder. So it comes with this 3D embossing folder with all of these great sentiments. Thank you, oh happy day, thinking of you, hello, love you with sympathy, you make me happy, get well, celebrate, and just because. And then it also comes with the dies to cut it out. So in our first project, we'll start with an introduction on how to use the hybrid embossing folder, and then we'll proceed to create a simple yet beautiful card featuring some of these products that we're talking about. So first thing I'm going to do is bring in a piece of white paper, 6 by 6, and the embossing folder and the dies. Now the dies are meant to fit right in the groove of all these words. So this is the Stampin' Up side. You can see that image right there. And the dies just click right into place. So you have the dies with the cutting side up, and it clicks right into the little grooves of that embossing folder. Then we're going to take our 6 by 6 piece of paper, and I'm going to run this through the machine. So let me bring my machine in to show you how to line this up to cut it out. So we're going to start with our platform base number 1. And then we have our embossing folder with the dies and our piece of paper, just like I showed you. And then we're going to bring in plate number 4. And let me just turn my machine around so I can have the wheel on my side. And then we're just going to put this through the machine. I know sometimes it gets confusing with the plates and which ones you should use. So again, for this hybrid, we just use the platform number 1. We use our embossing folder and platform number 4. Okay, so that's how they all turned out. Let me show you one up close so you can kind of see how it has the raised edges. So that's the very basic part. That's just cutting out the words. That's one way you can do it. But I'm going to show you in today's card how we're going to add to this so it shows up better. But let me show you one more little trick. I'm going to bring in a scrap sheet, and I'm going to bring in some ink, and we'll use Shaded Spruce, and we're going to bring in a brayer. Now Stampin' Up has a new brayer in the new mini catalog. It's really pretty. It's a red one. This is one I had. Basically, they all work the same way. We're going to ink up our words with the brayer, and I'm just going to ink up one word, hello. So whenever you use this, you can either cut out the whole thing using a 6 by 6 piece of paper, or if you just want to use one of the words, you can do that also. That's what we're going to do here. So I'm inking this up with my brayer. So I got that all inked up. Now I'm going to bring in my die, and again, the cutting edge is up, going to lay it down here, and it clicks right into the groove. Just move it around till it fits. Now it's in there snug. I'm going to bring in a little scrap piece, just big enough to cut out the hello. And again, I'm going to run that through my machine. Again, I'm putting in the folded edge first. And I cut it out with the same order. Number 1, my embossing folder, and then number 4. And now you get an outlined image. Very, very pretty. So that's another way you can use it. Let me bring in some other samples that I did. I also did the exact same thing with foil, and it really, really shows up well when you do it in foil. Let me show you that up close. Really pretty, right? Okay, well, I got one more way to show you, but I'm going to do that when we make our card. So let's bring in the supplies for today's card. So first of all, this is today's card we're going to make. So we're going to do some stamping, and we're going to do the hello, and I'm going to show you another way to use those dies. One more thing. To wash this off, all you need to do is run it under water. Same thing with your embossing folder. Just run it under the water, and all that ink comes right off. Okay, so today's card, we're going to have a base of gorgeous grape, an inside white piece for stamping, and then on the front I have a few layers. I have white, shaded spruce, a white stamping piece, a scrap for our hello sentiment, and then a scrap for a few butterflies. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the smaller white piece, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping on here. And again, I am using the Painted Lavender stamp set. I'm going to stamp in shaded spruce. Okay, so I'm using the stems, and I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do it a little bit lower. So half of it's on the paper and half of it's off, just like that, because I wanted to have really long sprigs of the lavender. Okay, now I'm bringing in gorgeous grape, and I'm bringing in one of the flower stamps. Let's show you which one. I'm using that one right there. And I'm just going to stamp here and there. I'm going to stamp once, and then I'm going to move it just a little bit and stamp again. Just like that. Okay, right at this point, I'm going to bring in the cane weave embossing folder, and I'm going to run our stamped image through and give it some texture. I'll be right back. Okay, so we have lots of beautiful texture with that cane weave embossing folder. So I'm going to bring in the little scrap, and I'm going to bring in the butterfly stamp, and I'm going to bring in gorgeous grape again. And I'm going to stamp. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to stamp again. So I wanted a lighter butterfly, a lighter colored butterfly. And I'm going to do the same thing in shaded spruce. I'm going to stamp off and stamp again. Just like that. The painted lavenders come with a little die, and we're going to cut those butterflies out. Okay, so there's the die. It cuts both of the butterflies out at once. So I'll cut those out, and we'll be right back. Okay, so there's our little butterflies. I'm just going to put those off to the side for now. Okay, so here's that word that we cut out earlier, and I'm just going to bring in another scrap, and I'm going to bring the brayer back in, and I'm going to ink this sprayer up with the shaded spruce ink, and I'm going to cover this word hello very, very lightly with my brayer. Very lightly, hardly touching it at all. And you can go as dark as you want, and that's all it is. And now I have a nice colored embossed word. Wasn't that simple? So let's go ahead and finish putting our card together. So I have my white layer, my shaded spruce layer, and our stamped image, and I'm going to glue all of those together. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to bring in our sentiment, and we're going to glue that on, and we're going to glue our butterflies on, and we're going to add a bow. Remember, after my videos, I always have a project sheet for you with all of the sizes and the supplies and the shopping links. And if you shop with me, that is my host code. So thank you very much in advance for shopping with me. So let's go ahead and glue all these other little pieces on, and then we'll go to the inside of our card. Before I put my bow on, I'm going to put a couple of those little purple gems right down here at the bottom. Okay, and for the bow, I'm using the linen thread. So it comes on a spool like this, and so when you unravel it, it's very, very curly. And if you just run it through your fingers a few times, it'll straighten it out and make it a lot easier for you to make a bow. We'll add our bow with a little glue dot. There's the front of our card, very pretty with all that texture, and then the hello with the little embossed edges, really pretty. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping on the inside because the stamp set has some great accent pieces. So for the inside, I'm going to bring back in Shaded Spruce, and I'm going to bring in the little grassy scene. And then it has a little teeny tiny accent piece. I'm going to bring back in the gorgeous grape. And I just added a little bit of accent with that gorgeous grape. Very pretty. We'll bring in the Perennial postage stamp set and pick out one of these great sentiments and stamp that on the inside. I think I'm going to make this into a thank you card. I can't thank you enough. And I think I'll stamp that in Shaded Spruce. I think I'll bring that butterfly stamp in one more time. And I'm going to stamp off in Gorgeous Grape. So let me glue this into the inside really quick, and we'll take a peek at our finished card. Okay, there you go. I hope you can see that texture. It's very, very pretty. So I really like stamping first and then adding that texture. It just adds a little bit of just something extra to your card. And then inside. So I hope you liked today's card. Go ahead and leave me some comments down below. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. Tell us where you're watching us from. We'll give you a nice warm welcome. And I will see you next time. Don't be shy. Stamp and shout.